Bangor, Maine, home to Stephen King, Paul Bunyan, and Maine's only Division I university in nearby Orono. But also one of the best beer cities in New England, with half a dozen breweries. Today, we'll trek across the Queen City of the East on foot, 2 feet even, to explore some of the best breweries the city has to offer and to take in the sights along the way. Welcome to Brew England, a channel dedicated to all things New England culture, adventures, and beer. Originally, we were supposed to be camping up in Baxter State Park, but due to weather forecasting calling for torrential downpours, we shifted our plans for a weekend getaway in Bangor instead. Be on the lookout for a future video covering our non-beer adventures in the city. We decided to dedicate a day to brewery hopping and exploring the best Bangor has to offer. Here's some tips for a successful brewery crawl. Pace yourself. You don't want to get burned out after visiting your second brewery. Have a glass of water in between flights and pints. Eat food. Try ordering an appetizer at each brewery to share. Not only is this a good way to pace yourself, sometimes the food at breweries can be even better than the beer itself. Apparently appetizer crawls are a thing now too. Stay safe. Have a designated driver or use ride shares or taxis to get to your destinations. We took Ubers to and from downtown Bangor and walked between breweries. Also, most importantly, have fun. It's about trying new beer, food, and experiences. Relax and have a good time. We stayed at a hotel near the airport, and originally we were worried about the availability of Ubers, but that proved to be unfounded, as we had no difficulty catching Ubers in Bangor to and from downtown. We took an Uber to our first destination on the trip. Geaghans Pub and Craft Brewery right across from the Hollywood Casino Hotel and near the Paul Bunyan statue. Geaghans is an unapologetically Irish pub with the decor to match. The restaurant has been around since 1975, with beer being brewed commencing in 2011. We sat at a table and ordered their famed wings, which came out crispy and delicious. Got a flight of beer. The refueler was a typical Hefeweizen, light and yeasty. Next up was their Italian Pilsner, which was light and refreshing with a bready body. The Irish Red was smooth and tasty. And last, I tried the Bangor Brown, which is smooth with a nice malty finish. First brewery down, and we're already going strong out of the gate. I checked off Geaghans as my 82nd brewery I've been to along the Maine Brewery Trail. For more information on the trail organized by the Maine Brewers Guild, check out the link in the comments below. After leaving, we paid our respects to Paul Bunyan. We then headed down Dutton Street around the back of the Hollywood Casino until we met up with the waterfront trail. The trail offers gorgeous views of the Penobscot River, Mason on the other shore, and the Veterans Remembrance Bridge. We took this the 0.8 miles to downtown Bangor proper. Good to know, here you'll pass by Seadog Brewing right on the waterfront with an amazing patio overlooking the water. We've already been to Seadog in both Brunswick, Maine and North Conway, New Hampshire, so we didn't make the stop as part of this crawl. However, feel free to add it to your brewery crawl if you haven't been. We continued along the trail that follows the Kenduskeag stream and took a right onto Hammond Street until we got to Orono's Bangor Tap Room, my 83rd brewery on the Maine Craft Beer Trail. While the main brewery is in nearby Orono, Their Bangor outpost offers a modern cozy space with nice wood trim and some funky modern art. There's also a small patio, but it was actually getting pretty warm by that point, so we opted for the indoor bar area. We ordered a flight. First on deck was the AOK Kolsch, which was refreshing, light, and delightful. This was followed by the Wicked Maine Blueberry, which was weedy and sweet, but the real shocker was the fruity smell that wouldn't be out of place in a candle store. Should Orono start making candles? Comment your thoughts below. Next up was the Fruitful Kettle Sour, which had a peach and raspberry notes that managed to be on the smoother side rather than tart, as you might expect. Last came the Woodsman Red Ale, which offered a bold, upfront flavor but had a smooth, fruity finish. We would have loved to stay longer, but we had 2 breweries left as part of our crawl. We headed back down Hammond Street, past Main Street, and then took a left down Columbia. After a short block, we made it to our 3rd brewery on the trip, 2 Feet Brewing. 2 Feet is an extremely cozy space, welcoming and eclectic. There was a band playing on the patio just outside. In terms of ambiance, this was my favorite stop. 2 Feet has the vibe of a great neighborhood bar that also happens to serve up great beer and food. I ordered a flight of 3. The barn burner had a pleasant mild spiciness with an impressively smooth finish. All too often, spicy beers can have a pretty raunchy aftertaste, but the barn burner went down smooth. Next up was the Dream Cycle, which as advertised was every bit sweet, creamy, and smooth as described. Finally was the Pulp Track IPA, made by Marsh Island in nearby Orono. This juicy New England IPA was smooth with a nice subtle hoppiness. We didn't get to Marsh Island Brewing on this trip, but it's definitely on my radar now. We also got some appetizers to share. We ordered the legendary Siamese Devils curry deviled eggs topped with ginger, which are a must try. We love them. Additionally, we ordered the Maine lobster ragoon dip served with pita chips. This is a great dish, essentially a deconstructed lobster ragoon with an Asian twist. As much as we would have stayed here all day otherwise, we had one last brewery to head off to. Good to note that right downtown, Blaze Brewing has a tap room. We have a Blaze Brewing back home in Biddeford where they produce the beer, so we didn't go to the Bangor location on this trip. But we definitely never been disappointed by their beer, pizza, and wings, which we enjoy often back home. Definitely a worthy addition or alternative to your own brewery crawl. We climbed the hill to Union Street and posed with the Welcome to Bangor sign before heading across the Union Street Bridge across the Penobscot River into Bangor, Maine. What a great name for a town. The view from the top of the bridge was absolutely stunning. Not only did you get amazing views of the Penobscot, but also some of the best views of downtown Bangor. After crossing, we followed the Brew River Walk along the shore. The river walk was a delight in itself as we passed by sculptures and parks overlooking the river. After a quarter mile, we made it to our final brewery, Mason's. Now, I've actually been to Mason's on a previous trip visiting Acadia National Park and was really excited to visit again. Not only is the beer great, but the view of the river is spectacular and the food is very good. Mason's manages to pull off the trifecta of having good beer with good ambiance and good food. It was a very busy Sunday, but we were sat almost immediately since there were only 2 in our party. We were able to sit right on the patio overlooking the river. I got my final flight of the night, starting off with a light lager, which is your typical lager, crisp and refreshing. Next up was the cream ale, which was creamy with a hint of hoppiness and smooth finish. Delicious. The Buzz McAllister is actually mead, smooth and sweet with honey apple notes with a little fizz. Perfect for drinking when home alone. Finally, I tasted Mason's Red Ale, my 3rd red ale of the day. Light and malty, everything I was hoping for. We also ordered food for dinner. We felt we needed to be healthy after a day of drinking, so we ordered the ahi tuna salad, which featured pickled kelps and carrots, sesame marinated cucumbers, delectable tuna, and dressed with a spicy pokey dressing. Superb. In addition, we also ordered the shrimp tacos, featuring shrimp ceviche with a mango salsa, and by the end we were completely stuffed. Mason's became my 85th brewery along the Maine Brewery Trail. After we finished up our remaining beers, we sat along the water, taking in the gorgeous sunset as it dropped across the horizon, while listening to Brett Michaels, who was playing the Maine Savings Amphitheater across the water. If you want to extend your brewery adventure, there's several options, but none will be within walking distance. There's Bangor Beer Company out towards the mall, and then out in Orono, you could do a whole second day of brewery crawling with Marsh Island Brewing, Black Bear Brewing, and Orono Brewing's tasting room and kitchen. We hope you found this brewery crawl guide helpful. Bangor is often overlooked compared to Southern Maine, but its brewery scene certainly holds its own. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It would help small-time producers like myself out considerably. Paul Bunyan, more like Paul Bunyan.